Hi, welcome to the tutorial on data exploration, target variable, part 1. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to explain why data exploration is important, list the questions one should answer while exploring the target variable. So, before we start building the model, it is important that we should have a thorough understanding of the data and make sure it is ready to be used in a model, since our model would be as good as the data we build it on. It is also advised to take a structured and step-by-step approach in understanding and preparing our data to ensure we build a robust and accurate model. Else, we may end up building a model whose output we don't fully understand. So now let's begin with understanding our target variable, as this is the most important variable in our dataset, and our modeling will be about predicting this variable. Let's have a look at the questions one should usually find answers to while exploring the target variable. What information does this variable represent? What is the data type for this variable? Do the few sample values that we can eyeball, that is skim through, make sense? What are the minimum, maximum, mean, median values for this variable, and whether these make sense and what we can infer from them? Does the target variable contain any outliers that we need to treat? Are there any missing values in the target variable that we need to treat? What is the distribution of the values of this variable over its range? Are the values uniformly or normally distributed? Or is data skewed towards lower values or towards higher values? This process of analyzing or studying one variable in detail is called univariate analysis. You may often come across this term in your journey as a data scientist, so know that uni means one and univariate analysis means analysis of one variable. Let's now answer these questions one by one. For first two questions, we know the target variable, that is sale price, which represents the price in dollars at which a house was sold. And we also know the data type for this variable, which is float 64, that is a continuous numerical variable, as we have seen earlier. Now for eyeballing the kind of values this variable contains, let us see the first 10 values of this variable. For that, we write the code that we had learned previously. Raw housing data sale price dot head 10. Now press Ctrl and Enter and the command gets executed. As we have discussed earlier in Python, the index starts with 0, which is visible on the first left column. All the initial 10 values of the variable sale price look okay. But we can see that the sixth observation value, that is 1,230,000, is much larger compared to the others. This would be an outlier. What is an outlier and whether this particular observation is an outlier, we would learn shortly. Similarly, let's study the last 10 values for this variable. For that, we write the same code that we learned earlier. Raw housing data sale price dot tail 10. Press Ctrl and Enter and the command gets executed. Here also, we see that one observation, that is 1,010,000, is much larger than the rest. Whether this is an outlier that needs to be treated, we would see shortly. So this completes our eyeballing exercise for the target variable. Eyeballing is nothing but skimming through the values of the variable of interest and see whether you notice any pattern or any anomaly by just looking at the data. Also, looking at top 10 or last 10 values is just one of the ways to eyeball data. You can also scroll through the entire column in the data. Next, let's find the descriptive statistics, that is min, max, mean and median values for this variable. So as we have learnt earlier, let's write the code for finding out the basic statistics. Raw housing data sale price dot describe. Press Ctrl and Enter and the command gets executed. Okay, from the above information, we get to learn that count of values for this variable is 21,609, which means for 21609 rows out of 21613 rows in the dataset, the variable has a non-null value, while its value is missing in 4 rows. We also see that the minimum sale price is 75,000 and the maximum sale price is 7,700,000. So we can say that the sale price has quite a bit of range from 75,000 to 7.7 million. We can also see that the mean value and the median represented by 50th percentile are not same, which means that our data is not normally distributed. We can also see that mean value for this variable, approximately 540k, is higher than the median 450k, which means the data may contain a few outliers of high values or could be skewed towards lower values, that is, contains more data point of lower values or both, as we would see shortly. So that's it in this tutorial. In the next one, we will understand how we can identify and treat outliers in our dataset.